ang uniqueness natin at ang gifting natin is not just limited to the talent. I realized the gifting is in our journey. It's in our life.
Hi again, everyone. Welcome to the Second Wind podcast. It's me, Joash, and in this podcast, we talk about stories of those who have gone ahead of this race, mga startup entrepreneurs, mga seasoned entrepreneurs, and various people, various walks of life, getting their inspiring stories to inspire you to run the race that is marked out for you. And for today, we have someone who's going to share her story. Yes, she's a she, and her story is so interesting on how she found her unique value that she could give and create to the people. And right now, she started a company called Add Garlic. And para malaman nyo lang yung story niya, I would let her, just to introduce more about herself and share with you her story. So let's all welcome Miss Cay Acuna. Ate Cay.
Hello! Hi, Joash.
Hello.
I'm grateful that you finally invited me.
Yay!
I've been watching your mga podcasts.
Salamat.
And so, interesting siya, and I've been your taga-subaybay. So I'm grateful that you finally invited me here. It's an honor to be able to share God's goodness to my life kasi to everybody out there.
Ayan. Miss Cay, when we were talking, you mentioned about Add Garlic, and even before that, yung journey mo as a professional na naghahanap ka ng work, of course, mga challenges in the family. And then, right now, you have a message, that you always share, may testimony ka. Siguro maybe we could start by, could you introduce yourself from you? And then, let's go on with the story.
Ayan, so I'm a single mom, okay? I just turned 50, would you believe? I'm a single mom to two beautiful daughters. My eldest is around 26. My youngest is 24, and she's special, okay? So I've been in the advertising industry for close to 30 years already. I've been running this advertising firm. It's an integrated marketing communications firm called Add Garlic. I'm also part of a movement called the Market Project, which aims really to help the people in the marketplace find their purpose, live with hope, and experience success. So there, that's me in a nutshell.
Yan. Ang galing. Okay, so nakita nyo na yung mga previous episodes natin with some of the people produced, and we're running alongside the Market Project community. And eto, exciting tong story na to. So, I will not get the mic. Kayo na, kwento nyo na. Sige.
Okay. So, sige. Siguro it will be interesting to find out the story behind Add Garlic, the company that I'm running right now. It's actually just a very young agency. It's 8 years old, Joash.
Mm-hmm.
But I would always tell this to everyone I come in contact with, that the road to Add Garlic really started mga 25 years ago. Okay, so bago na buo ito, nag-umpisa yan long before. Na wala pa akong pangarap magkaroon ng ahensya. It started at that time. So, siguro 25 years ago, I just came out of a very abusive relationship. And I had 2 kids in tow, diba? And I was determined to rebuild my life and go back to the industry that I'm familiar with, and that is advertising. So, kasi nag-quit ako ng trabaho when I gave birth when I lived with somebody. Pero when I left him, sabi ko, hindi, babalik ako sa advertising industry. And it was a difficult journey for me, okay? Because since I quit my job for a while, medyo nawala ako sa advertising scenario. So coming back, I sort of had I came in with the wrong heart and with the wrong mindset. Okay, I was so desperate to rebuild my life that it came to a point na I was already competing with my colleagues. So coming in, since parang kumakomeback ako in the advertising industry, I kept on comparing myself to them. Tinitignan ko sila, tinitignan ko anong meron ako. And wow, I lived a miserable life because I didn't see anything good about myself. Sa kaka-compare ko sa sarili ko to my colleagues, and trying my best to outdo them, I lived a miserable life. Paano pag tinitignan ko yung sarili ko versus them, hindi ko nakita yung mga giftings ko in life. I didn't see anything good about myself. Parang nakikita ko lang, old-timer ako, I didn't have the same fancy clothes that they had. Hindi ako dekotse katulad nila. Alam mo yon, I'm not speaking in English the way they were speaking in English. Alam mo yung ganon. So, ang dami ko insecurity, Joash. Alam mo yun, parang masyado kong pinapagod yung sarili ko at saka yung mind ko in trying to outdo them. Kailangan kasi ma-differentiate ko yung sarili ko sa kanila eh.
Yeah.
And from a marketing standpoint, I would say at that time, ang formula na ginagamit ko is the unique selling proposition. Diba? Wherein, ang USP kasi, ang focal point mo is you look at your competition and then you do everything you can to outdo them para ma-differentiate mo yung sarili mo sa market mo. And it was a tiring thing. Alam mo yun, nakakapagod siya. So when I shifted from using a USP perspective to having a unique value proposition perspective, that my life changed. Kasi a lot of people, ikaw ba, do you know the difference between a
UVP,
USP?
no? So from
Yes,
USP, UVP.
Unique value proposition.
Yeah, maybe it's good that we define, diba, for the people watching right now. Baka hindi rin sila familiar.
Oo, kasi mga ibang tao, parang they think it's synonymous. It's actually different. A USP kasi, parang pag USP, ang focal point mo is your competition. You
So
look at what
unique
you
selling, unique selling proposition.
selling proposition, yes. You look at your competition, tapos titignan mo yung everything that they have, and ikaw, you do everything you can para ma-outdo mo sila. So that's your basis of your differentiation. Diba? Comparison siya because you want to compete.
Example, yung ube cheese pandesal na nauuso, di ba? Tama ba?
Yes.
So yung kukumpit ka, lalagyan mo ng iba-ibang flavor. So parang gano'n,
Oo, di ba? Lalagyan mo ng konting budbud yung sayo, ganyan yan.
So,
di ba?
outdo others. Okay.
Oo, kaya magbibigay ka ng libre na something, alam mo, just to be better. Pero ang basis mo niyan is actually yung comparison because you're competing. And that is a tiring thing to do if you apply that in persons. Hindi mo minsan habit natin yan di ba? We're not satisfied with who we are and what we are. Madalas mag-o-observe ka muna, tapos ikukumpara mo yung sarili mo, umpisa mo yan sa damit, parang mas maganda sila manamit kaysa sa akin.
Okay.
Mas maganda yung eskwelahan na pinanggalingan nila kaysa sa akin. Or mas magaling sila sa ganitong bagay versus me. Alam mo yung ganon? But, ang focus natin lagi yung ibang tao, hindi tuloy natin nakikita kung ano yung ganda ng buhay natin, kung ano yung ganda ng meron tayo. So, ang unique value proposition, ang focus naman ng mata mo dito, hindi yung kalaban mo. Ang tinitignan mo is yung market mo. Okay? You look at your market and you look at what they need.
Wow.
And then you look at how to solve their problems or how to help them. In other words, kaya siya value proposition, you try to find things that would add value to their lives. Diba? And you don't look at your competition. It was when I learned how to look at things that way that I started living a more fulfilling life. Alam mo yun? Nung hindi ko na tinitignan yung mga colleagues ko o yung mga kakompetensya ko, ang tinignan ko na lang is yung employer ko, who at that time was my market. Naging laman na lang ng puso ko at that time was, how can I serve them better? Because obviously, it was tiring. It was tiring to compete. Nakakapagod. So when my objective was to serve my employers better, that's when I realized that everything pala that I thought were my weaknesses. Yung mga kinai-insecurean ko, yung mga nagbubus ako papasok, Yan.
Isa-isayin natin yan.
Oo, yung mga hindi ako masyadong magaling mag-English. Kasi yung mga colleagues ko, grabe, syempre parang they come from really, yung mga medyo well-off families. And English to them was like an everyday thing. Ako talaga dumudugo yung ilong ko, no? Pag English ang time na, talagang dumudugo na yung ilong ko. It was something I was struggling with. Okay, I was struggling with. So, pag nagdi-discuss kami noon, since I was so insecure about it, I would normally just keep quiet. Okay? So at that time, I thought yung hindi ako hindi ako magaling masyado mag-English was a weakness. But apparently, it was a strength. Kasi, yun na nga, when I started looking at what my employers needed, that's when I realized everything that I thought was a weakness were actually strengths. Okay, unti-untiin natin na. Una, I thought ang pagbubus ay a weakness. Kasi sila nakakotse. Ayan. De kotse sila, de driver. So I thought yung pagbubus ko, kailangan ko ka-insecurean yun. But apparently, yung nagbubus ako was my strength. You know why? Because I had to wake up as early as 5 a.m. Diba? Para hindi ako ma-late going to work. So, at saka hindi ako mahirapan kumuha ng bus sa EDSA. And at that time, I was taking the ordinary bus. Walang aircon yun, Joash. So, when I get to the office, ano pa yon? Kasabay ko yung mga security guard pumasok. I was that early. Because when I get to work, I would have to change pa my clothes into something more corporate and appropriate for the office. So, I'd always be the first person there. So, that worked as an advantage for me because my employers would see that I was masipag. I was never late. Diba? Diba? It was so nice. Tapos dahil nagbuboost din ako pa uwi, I would normally stay in the office longer because papalipasin ko yung traffic. So, ang dami ko na-achieve. Diba? So, my employers at that time would see me as somebody so hardworking kasi ang aga ko napasok, ang late ko pa umuwi. Diba? So, a weakness became a strength. Tapos ito, dati na-insecure ako kasi hindi ako masyadong magaling mag-English. So, parang feeling ko, if you would compare me to my office mates, ako yung masang Pinoy. Kina-insecurean ko yun. But then, pagiging masang Pinoy pala is a strength because since I was in advertising, there were brands that I had to handle na pangmasa. Diba? And every time we would brainstorm about brands like sardinas or yung mga instant noodles, alam mo yun, yung mga pangmasa, ang pinaka madaming nako-contribute in terms of insights ay walang iba kundi ako. Diba? Then yung colleagues ko, since they came from really rich families, medyo upscale, they didn't know the life of the masa. And in an advertising industry, in the advertising world, there are masa brands. And they would need people from the masa, which is me, who would be able to contribute in the development of campaigns for those masa brands. So again, what I thought was a weakness was actually a strength. Diba? Meron pa. Dati, lungkot na lungkot ako because I didn't have enough money to go out for lunch or go out with my colleagues on night outs, ganyan. Kasi konti lang kinikita ko di ba? Naalala ko nga dati, Joash, pag lunch break, and my colleagues would say, "Come, Cay, let's go out, let's have lunch." I'd normally say, No, it's okay. I'll stay here because I'm on a diet. But in fact, when they actually leave the office, ilalabas ko na yung 3 hopya ko. Araw-araw yan, Joash, ha? As in, naumay talaga ako sa hopya because I'd eat 3 pieces of hopya. As in, kakainin ko yan ng mabilis, tapos iinom ako ng isang basong tubig.
Munggo ba to o ube? Baboy.
Munggo!
May flavor.
Munggo! Tapos, I will go back to my workstation. And then, yun na. So, I thought that was a bad thing. I felt so bad for myself at that time. Pero, yung palang munggo na yun was able to help me. That hopyang munggo. Because, siguro mga 3 minutes, 5 minutes, tapos na ako mag-lunch. And I'm back sa workstation ko. So, ang dami ko talagang natatapos na work. As in, sobra. So kung yung mga office mates ko, hanggang dito lang ang natatapos nila, ako, dahil sa sobrang aga ko, sobrang bilis ng work, ng snack break ko, at saka sobrang late ko umuwi, andito yung mga natatapos ko, di ba? And that really worked for me because again, my market, which was my employers, impressed sila doon. Actually, it helped their business so much. And so on and so forth. Kung dati, masama loob ko, wala akong kotse, yung pala, advantage yung walang kotse. Kasi sila, pag magka-client call, siguro sa isang araw, they would only go to 3 clients kasi maghahanap pa sila ng parking, alam mo yon, yung ang dami lang hassle. Ako, dahil naglalakad ako, sa isang araw, I can go to 10 clients. Patawid-tawid. Patawid-tawid lang akong ganyan sa, sa Makati, di ba?
Magkakalapit.
Oo, di ba? You just have to walk like that and dahil ma-achieve na buildings, di ba, ganyan. So again, it worked for me. So, looking at that, kung value proposition yung pag-uusapan, at kung titignan ko lang talaga, at natin lahat, yung pangangailangan ng market natin, you'd see that there are so many things about us, so many things that we can do, that are actually useful to them, that could actually give value to their lives or add value to their lives. And if that's what we will do, parang napaka-fulfilling for us. All of a sudden, parang i-embrace mo kung sino ka. I-embrace mo yung pagkatao mo. I-embrace mo kung anong meron ka. Hindi yung maghahanap ka ng mga bagay na wala sa'yo. Because you keep on looking at your competitors, other people, your colleagues. In fact, di ba nga biblically, we're not supposed to compete. God doesn't want us to look at others and compete, diba? He doesn't like that. So ayun, so it was when I shifted from having a unique selling proposition to having a unique value proposition that my life became different. And it's that became my parang mantra in the industry, that every time I get inside a new company, ganyan, mapapirate ako ng bagong kumpanya, I move on to another company, ganyan. Ako, iisipin ko, hindi ko natitignan yung colleagues ko. Of course, they are all my friends, pero I will never be there to compete. I will never be there to compare myself. It will always be, okay, how am I going to be able to add value to this office? How am I going to be able to be useful to them, to help them, to solve problems, their problems. Alam mo ganon. And that therefore moved until the time that Add Garlic was built, which is my company now. And you know what? The main culture of the company is, we coined a term to represent the culture of our company, and that is positivity. Positivity is a combination of 2 words. It's plus and positivity. Okay? Ang prinsipyo ng positivity is to be able to add value and see the good, just realize the good in anything and everything. So, kumbaga ito, ang purpose namin parate is to add value to everybody we will come in contact with, whether it be a client, a supplier, an employee, via the campaigns that we will do. It will always be, ang mindset parate is, add value, add value. Yeah, let's not compete, let's not sell. Add value, add value. So, yun, that's how we do things now. And kaya sinasabi ko sa'yo, ang kwento ng Add Garlic, hindi yan 8 years ago. Nag-umpisa yan noon pa. When God was holding me, when God was teaching me so many things about how our mindset should be, how we should look at things, and how we should treat our lives. So there.
So ito talaga yung parang sinasabi rin natin sa The Market Project, no, that it's actually all about, the business all about, in fact, kahit employee ka, di ba? Whatever you do, you're professional or you're entrepreneur, it's all about creating value, okay? Serving people and looking at their needs, and whatever you have, looking at your uniqueness, your strengths, and whatever you're capable of, and serving it to them.
You know what? It was in that process of always trying to give value to others that made me realize and discover the value, my own value. Yung kakaisip mo ng how to give value to others, that's when you will appreciate your own value.
how can we find that unique value that we already have pero hindi lang kami aware of? Maybe some pointers or some tips coming from you. How can a person discover, or a businessman, entrepreneur, an employer, or employee, okay, or someone in the online world, how can we start becoming more aware of our unique value?
Okay.
Yeah.
First, alam mo, and this really helped me. Number one, I think it's essential that we are closely connected with the one who made us, our maker, diba? Si Lord, because siya yung may alam kung ano tayo and why He created us, diba? So, kumbaga parang lagi nga niya sinasabi, I am the vine and you are the branches. If you are with me, diba, you will bear fruit. So talagang if we are connected with our maker, it's impossible that we will not bear fruit. Okay? That's one. And He would always say He will be there to guide us, to teach our way, to teach us dun sa mga tamang way, and to counsel us. So if realization at realization lang ang pag-uusapan, for you to be able to understand and appreciate who you are and what you are here, why you are here, you have to connect with the one who made you. That's one. And then second siguro, we need to believe that lahat tayo, we were created differently. Diba? Lahat tayo, parang ako nga
Uniquely.
Uniquely. And we are purposely made that way.
Wow.
Alam mo yun? Yeah. As in uniquely and purposely made that way. Kumbaga, dati kasi pag sinasabi natin, unique tayo sa isa't isa, we only base it on talents. Na kunyari, kasi ikaw magaling ka kumanta, ako magaling ka kunyari, ikaw magaling ka magluto. Hindi eh. Ang uniqueness natin at ang gifting natin is not just limited to the talent. I realized the gifting is in our journey. It's in our life. Joash, pinanganak ka, kung saan ka pinanganak, kung sinong naging magulang mo, kung saan ka nag-aral, kung sino yung mga nakilala mo, kung ano yung mga nalaro mo nung bata ka. Wow. Everything, all that is part of the gift. Wow. And it's part of your uniqueness. Yung nga yung sinasabi ko, parang your story is your strength. Your story.
I like that.
Your story, your life story is your strength, because nobody else can have that. Nobody will be able to relive your life. Ikaw lang yon. Diba?
Agree.
Hindi naman sobra. And all that, pag pinagsama-sama mo, lahat yon, regalo yun sa'yo ng Panginoon. It's a gift and that is your strength. So isama mo na dun yung frustrations mo, yung naging heartaches mo, heartbreaks mo.
Yan.
Lahat, everything, the good and the bad experiences, all that, lahat yun regalo. Regalo yun sa'yo, and that is your strength. Your story is your strength. And the third siguro is, yun na nga, let's always remember that we are all gifted, not for ourselves, but we are gifted because we are here to impart it to others or to serve others. You know, I would always say this, Joash, na piniloso ko tong concept na to na parang, kunyari, binigyan ka ng Diyos ng talent sumayaw. Is it because He wants you na sayawan mo yung sarili mo? Pag ginawa ka ng doktor, is it because He wants you to nagamutin mo yung sarili mo?
Mga, no?
Diba? Yung talents natin are not meant for us. Our talents are for others. So, I remember, so in 1 Peter nga, it says there, di ba, that we all need to use yung talents na bigay sa atin to serve others so that we will be able to glorify our God. So, pag ipopilosopo mo siya talaga, oo nga, no, ba't ako magaling sumayaw para sayawan ko sarili ko? Parang hindi. Di ba? Magaling ako kumanta para kantahan ko yung sarili ko. Parang hindi rin eh. Maging doktor ako para gamutin ko, operahin ko yung sarili ko. Hindi. So always remember, whatever it is that God placed in you, that gift, that talent that He placed in you, He gave it to you so that you can share it to others, so that you can serve others. And that is the pinaka-essence of UVP. You always look at the needs of everybody around. And you see na may purpose yung meron ka to help others, to give value to the...
That includes the personality, no? The temperament, everything about you will be used for others, no? It's not just the talent.
Yes. Whether nakakatawa ka, alam mo yun, yung humor mo, alam mo yung humor mo, yung pagiging detalye mo, magiging organized mo,
wow.
All of that, lahat yun may use yun. And not just for yourself. It is meant for you to be able to serve others.
That's great. Because the tendency, no, sometimes when we compare nga ourselves, or minsan hindi mo naman compare sarili mo, pero may lokohan, di ba? Ganito ka, ganyan ka. So, na-stuck ka, and you also view how people view you, whether that's a weakness. So, na-adapt mo yung perception nila na weakness nga to, so ganito na lang ako, hindi ko nalalabas to. But what you're saying is, what if hindi ganun? What if perception lang nila yun, pero if I see myself the way God made me, and I would see myself the way God sees me, diba? That would be different, diba? Iba yung pag-serve mo, pag-create mo ng value sa ibang tao. And that's a nugget of wisdom. Thank you, Miss Cay.
So, basta you always have to look at others, the needs of others, and there's something in
from yourself, no, to others.
Oo, na meron, mafe-fill in mo yung mga needs na yon.
That's good.
And that way, we are able to fulfill, or kumbaga, steward the gift that God gave us. Always stay connected with your maker, kasi He will be the one to tell you what you're good at and where you should go, diba? Second is for you to always believe that we are purposely, uniquely gifted. As in, sinadya yun, the entirety of your life, your story. Because your story is your uniqueness, your story is your strength. Okay? And you hold on to that because nobody else can have that except. And then lastly, you are gifted not for yourself. You are gifted to serve others, to give value to the lives of others. And that's when you will find your success and fulfillment. The knowledge that you're able to steward the gift that God gave you properly.
Galing. So yung pala yung key, no? I believe lahat ng mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, no? Whether you're a student or a young professional or maybe you've been in the business for quite some time, it's really great, no, to think about these things, no? Na, of course, si God nga yung nag-design sa atin, di ba? Siya yung, kumbaga, sa isang inventor, the inventor knows the design for which he created something, and then if we get to a close relationship with Him, He would tell us, no? Tutulungan niya tayo maging self-aware kasi mas kilala niya tayo kaysa sa kilala natin sarili natin. And pangalawa, as you said, no, talagang we have to embrace our uniqueness and yung ginawa ni God na He made us intentionally this way for a purpose. And yun nga, no, it's not just for ourselves, not to serve ourselves, but the purpose is to do good to others, to serve people, create value for them. And when we do this, we find our unique value proposition, and we get to find the uniqueness, no, yung shape na dinesign tayo. Thank you so much, Ate Cay.
Thank you, Joash. Maraming salamat.
Meron ka pang closing words or any encouraging
yun lang. Parang I really just...
any pandemic exhortation or what? Ganun yan. Or,
this time, I think this is the time wherein we would be able to mahuhugot natin yung mga hidden talents natin because we have more time to spend with the Word of God. May time tayo to connect with God all the time. So, magbabad tayo sa Kanya, let's talk to Him, let's ask Him, let's find direction through the Holy Spirit. And imposibleng He will not reveal to us what He intended for us. Because He created us for a purpose. At siya ang unang-unang may gusto na ma-fulfill yung purpose natin na yun.
Wow. Agree.
Oo. He would bring the right path. All we have to do is to go to Him. Diba?